Sorry guys, as I was watching my last video back, a couple of things just stood out to me, and I apologize for the back-to-back videos, but we're in the timeline and there's pretty much no time to waste if these things are actually gonna occur when we think they're gonna occur. Even if we have a little bit more time, I still want to get this information out there so it can, reach as many people as possible in the time frame that we have. So just getting on with it. I already pointed out in the last video how when the scene starts, the star points directly to Florida, how his little pinky here points directly to Florida, excuse me, and how his eye line looks at Florida when the scene's first starting. How the F and the F may relate to February and Florida, how there's an F over here with the mouth and the body and the arm, and the other F's all over the place. There's F's all over the place. Even when he lifts up his middle finger, at one point directed towards the hangman here, that is sign language for F off basically, which again begins with F. So there's a lot of references to F. So please excuse me if I interpret it wrong, but you have to agree that the references to F in this iPad Go 2 video are quite clear, and they just kind of need to be pointed out. So I've also noticed that when he's doing this Baphomet sign, I wonder if his hand, if it's pointing to February with his pinky finger, he seems to be pointing towards the ocean with his index finger and towards the burning house with his thumb. At the same time, the sign that he's holding up creates an F with his hand, which again could relate to Florida, could relate to February, could relate to fall. I'm just pointing these things out. I really don't know exactly what is going to happen, because if his hands are pointing to, he's facing towards the map, his pinky's pointing at Florida there. On this hand, his finger appears to bend over a little bit, so again you can make an F right on the edge of his hand there. Just kind of another reference to F, but it also appears that his pinky may be pointing towards the shark, which looks like it's leaping, which we're interpreting as a submarine or a missile launch. And that could be the reference to fire. And maybe something to do with the tsunami, water. It's a rough interpretation, but I wanted to point it out because it seemed a bit relevant. The other thing I wanted to point out, and this is another date reference, I believe. Bear with me, you're going to see why I'm pointing out. And I haven't really looked into this in terms of dates too much. Let me go back to the beginning. 1 second. It's a bit blurry there. Okay, so I already mentioned how this alphabet, it starts with E, so that makes F the second letter of the alphabet, and February is the second letter of the month. Sorry, the second month of the year, which starts with the letter F, so it seems to have a correlation there. The other thing is that on this alphabet chart, the Z is off skew, and on this chart is the 22nd letter of the alphabet. Now, I haven't managed to figure in the O in this interpretation, but when I was watching this scene, I think I pointed out before, but the teacher's hair makes 2 upside down 2s, which could be 22. And that obviously has a direct reference to the Z, which is highlighted by being off balance as the 22nd letter of the alphabet in this chart. Just makes me think possibly something happening on the 22nd as well. I don't know if the Z has reference to the end, as it does in terms of the end of the alphabet. Maybe the end, 22nd, 22 in her hair here. Her hair here. I haven't obviously the other 22 that's referenced in this video, which has been talked about before, is what appears to be the V that appears on Obama's forehead, V being the 22nd letter of the actual alphabet. So I don't know really what that they're pointing to happening on the 22nd, if it is the 22nd they're pointing to, and if it is the 22nd of February, more reference, because they've managed to cleverly not only make F the second letter in this alphabet, which could stand for February, the second month of the year, but they've also made it in the same line as the Z, which is the 22nd letter on this alphabet, which is correlated here and on Obama's forehead with the sweat bead. So I think there's something they are pointing to on the 22nd. What it is, I haven't quite figured it out yet. But as I've said in the last video, this is high watch time. I can't even express that enough. It's high watch time. We're looking at the Wuji year of the dog coming in, the yin yang, the yin switching to yang, the year of the dog, Wuji year of the dog. As I said that already, sorry. I'm tired. Valentine's Day has just passed. The Day of the Shining Stars coming up. The skeleton event at the Olympics is due to take place. The Chinese have their troops amassed at the border. Whether the girl depicted in this iPad Got video is Kim Jong-un's sister, or I can't remember the name of the woman who actually carried the flag for the Koreans. Whether it's one or the other, it's definitely Korea, and we're 100% sure of that. So today is the 15th of February, and today I believe I think it's the Day of the Shining Star in North Korea today. And then obviously at the end of the day is when it switches into the Chinese New Year, and we begin the we begin it all, basically. That's only if the interpretations are correct. So that's what I wanted to point out. That's what I wanted to point out for you guys today. I don't think there'll be another video, but I don't know. I could be rewatching this one back to make sure it's uploaded correctly, and I could see something else. I hope you guys don't mind me uploading videos one after another when it's necessary. With that, again, you guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and God bless.